Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you, as well as joining us through our online affiliates literally around the world. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome Dwayne of the group Toni to our program today. And, of course, we all have our favorite song by Toni, whether it's Feels Good, that you all heard here on the radio side of our program, Lay Your Head on My Pillow, and, of course, the song Anniversary. We're going to talk to Dwayne not only about, of course, what it's been like for him to reflect on the group's success, but also what it's been like for them as they've been crisscrossing the country, meeting the fans, as well as, of course, being able to share the music that all of us have gotten to love. Toni is part of the Battle of the Bands that's taking place in Atlanta on Saturday, September the 2nd. That's going to be at Fox Theater. We'll give you all the details of that, as well as let you all know how you can stay connected with the group. But, Dwayne, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hey, my man. Welcome. Happy to be here.
Look, man, glad to have you on with us. We know it's a crazy busy time for you all. As I said, you all are, of course, gearing up for the Atlanta visit, of course, on Saturday, September the 2nd, but also all the other events you all have been able to do. I've been keeping up with you all on Twitter. Dwayne, what has it been like for you? As you've kind of reflected on the history of this group and the lives you all have been able to touch, what has it been like for you to kind of think about the impact that your music has been able to have?
You know, it's kind of like it's a very surreal type of even with us being 30 years in the game, it's still like a dream, you know what I mean? Because we weren't formally trained on what we do, and and to be able to still touch the world and have fans out there and then newfound followers, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man. It's unbelievable. You're doing what you love. It's really a passion, and you've been able to grow with people, and I think that's what it's about for us. If we're not connecting with our music, we're not connecting at all.
Right.
It's about connecting with the world, and it's been a great thing for us to travel and see how it's had an effect on people in other countries as well,
Right. And, Dwayne, I think that is the big thing that people can take away from Toni. I noticed when I was prepping for the segment, I went in and looked at some of the lyrical videos that were on YouTube. I mean, we're talking about millions of views on these. And people, I looked at the comments of people talking about they don't make music like this anymore. This is real R&B. I mean, when you hear comments like that and as you read comments like that online, how does that make you feel about the impact that Toni has made?
It makes us feel great. I mean, it makes us feel great, man. It makes us feel honored that the fact that, we went in there with a vision of just, sharing our spirit and what we've grown up in Oakland, California to learn. It was really with our music. We're blues musicians from the start. Blues guitars on the streets of Oakland, just, and hip-hop started and rap started at a time where it got fused with our music. So it makes us feel good because we just know we wanted to go in there and write songs, not
right.
tunes. Tunes are here and gone. The songs last forever, and that's it. We're still right now. I don't feel like we reached our peak in terms of what we write and what we write about. The more we experience in life, the more we can share with our folks, and that's been a beautiful thing. Even with the craziness that's popping off today in the world. We got something to say. We may not have a new album out or something like that, but you come to our live shows, you'll hear a little bit of something that's going on, and
exactly.
It's been blessings. Yeah.
You just alluded to a song that we're going to actually be playing on the end of this segment that airs on the radio dial, Dwayne, and that is the song "It's a Beautiful Thing." That song, I think, has such a we actually going to be playing the slide mix of that at the end of this segment, and I think that the thing about that song and so many other songs is that again it speaks to the heart. It speaks to, I think, to a time that all of us can relate to. And as you said, you bring up something that I think really nails it on the head, and that is that the music is really timeless. Did it feel like that when you were creating it at the time?
No, we didn't, because we were living the time. What it felt like to us is that, we were just exposing what we were going through. In songs, gotcha. If we get to the studio, lay your head on my pillow, that just happened to be something that my brother Raphael caught me saying to somebody else. And then awkward position, and that song came out of that. You know, when you talk about some of the other songs, Feels Good. It feels good because it was our first album that we actually really were producing. Because our first album was produced by, our very first album was produced by Foster and McElroy. Great producers, great writers, and great friends of ours as well from Oakland, California. And so we learned a lot from them. And on our second album, it was us really going into the studio that, you know, we didn't even know how to get down on the synthesizers and everything else as technical. But we were learning. So it feels good to hear that. Feels Good with one of those tracks that came out right, you know, when we got in there and touched on the drum machine.
Right. And again, they say yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dwayne.
No, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, you know, we laid out the track to something like Feels Good, but that's when we first merged, you know, using a drum machine. But not only that, that's when we first merged having a DJ on one of our tracks. I mean, we didn't even, Feels Good was one of the songs we didn't even like as much. You know, we dug it because we made the drum machine come on. It was cool, but then we started making it feel like the gospel shout vibe, you know. And then when this DJ came and put his breakbeat on, we was like, hey, man, what you doing on our song? You know what I mean? And, but it made you want to dance. And I was like, wow, that's the both worlds right there.
Yeah. And since you said that, I mean, again, that's a great segue. But you say the best of both worlds. You kind of talked about the different musical genres. Toni is known for not really paying attention to genre. I mean, you all, create music that, I mean, people who like pop would like, people like soul, what we call R&B would like. I mean, and I think that has definitely been part of the reason why, your music has had the, the effect it's been able to have. You mentioned, of course, being 30-plus years into this. I mean, do you think that is also part of the key for you, Dwayne, that the fact that people really can't put you all in a box?
That is majorly the key. We can't even put ourselves in a box. It's the more we're exposed to, it happens. Being in Trinidad, I never knew what the wine dance was, slow wine or whatever. Songs like that came out of being, traveling, Trinidad, going to these other countries and getting exposed to a whole other style of music, you know what I mean, and a whole other culture, so to speak. Mm-hmm. It's all about exposure, man. Exposure is key, and I've always kind of made sure that whatever groups I deal with, especially the young groups and artists that I deal with, I believe in exposing them to the game, the business at industry level. How you get up in the morning in advance, how you take care of yourself so that you can be this so-called star that you want to be. You know what I mean? Feed your mind right, learning how to do your interviews and talk about who you are, where you come from, so people can really get into who you are. The music simply becomes the score.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's a great lesson for us as well. We'll talk about the influence that Toni has been able to make. Dwayne, I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Dwayne Wiggins to our program. He's one of the founding members of the group Toni that's been able to give us some amazing music over the years. I mentioned some of the songs earlier. We actually kicked off this segment here on the radio dial with Feels Good. We're going to be wrapping it up, as I mentioned to Dwayne as well, with the single It's a Beautiful Thing. I want to talk about that, the fact that there are so many artists out there, because that's going to bring us actually right to what's happening September the 2nd, Dwayne. There are so many artists that say that they're influenced by Toni, that it's because of what they saw you all do made them want to do music. When you hear that from artists, how does that make you feel?
Tremendously flattered. Tremendously, because, I know what it felt like to sit at home and be inspired by the Supremes and Isley Brothers and, Earth, Wind and Fire. Being from Oakland, being inspired by Larry Graham and Sly Stone, that was a different type of inspiration for me because, we saw them driving down the street. You see Sly or Graham in a caddy with the silver boots on and such. So when people ask us the way we dress, and it's like, is that like a costume? No, this is who we are, 100%. Excuse me, but I'm not trying to be retro. So it makes me feel good because I know that we're at least giving a foundation of our music to this next generation, and we're not going to walk away from who we are and what this music is and what this culture is that we've been able to create. And so it makes me feel honored, that at least someone is paying attention.
They definitely are, and there are so many people that are looking forward to your contribution to the Saturday Soul Series taking place at Fox Theater, Dwayne, that being on Saturday, September the 2nd. Toni is one of the acts that people will be looking forward to as part of the Battle of the Bands. Also joining you all that day will be Casey and JoJo, Drew Hill, and Next. I mean, you know, you are someone, as I said, that has been able to not only, of course, do what you love musically and to see the response from that. What is it like for you to be able to share the stage with other individuals who feel as passionate about music as you do?
Oh man, it gives me chills. I love it. I mean, when I see Casey and JoJo, and they're like some cousins of mine or something. They call me Unc. I'm actually the OG to the game with these dudes. So it's fly. You know what I mean? It's fly. And then everybody else. All of us. We work together constantly. Drew Hill, love them brothers. They are so passionate and so real about it. On the realness, this needs to be called Battle of the Jams because it's just going to be, it's going to be a beautiful thing. They come in and not, no pun intended. You see how that song came about.
Right.
This is going to be a real night of some real authentic soul, R&B, blues, historical, just get all the different patterns and the styles when I think about it, Yeah, it makes me excited because this is what we love to do. I love getting on that stage with my guitar. That guitar is my shield. It got me out of Oakland. So, hey man, I feel like sometimes I feel like paying the audience. Like, damn, thank you.
Well, look, I know they can't wait. We're going to be giving them the details for those who have not already made plans to attend, Dwayne, giving them the details so they can make sure that they are in the building for this great event. I think that brings us to this last thing I want to talk to you about, and that is, about the impact, especially with the Internet. I mean, now with a few clicks, even as we were going through, I was asking my program director here at the station, what song. He's like, okay, don't make me choose one. Don't make me choose one. So, of course, we went over to Amazon.com, and we were going through the list. They're like, okay, which one do you think that one to start it off? I mean, now people can, as they're listening to a conversation like this, Dwayne, they can go on Amazon, go on iTunes, and be able to purchase this music and to be able to, I mean, what has that been like for you to see the way that the Internet, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that you all are a part of, has really reshaped the way we connect with artists like yourself?
It truly has. I was one of those guys. Since we are analog players, put it like that. Mm-hmm. We're some analog players in the digital world. Because I'll tell you, the moment we come from doing production where you record something and you don't let things leak out, you don't let people hear it. This mixtape thing that people do and all of this. I'm like, well, what part of the game is this? You know what I mean? You're just throwing it out there. What? But then again, it's your passion. Follow that. Don't let it be about the dough. The dough is gonna follow you. You know what I mean? But it took me a while to get up on it. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm not sharing this, and I'm not having people follow me. Hey, that might be the IRS. Why you want to follow me? Follow me, man. I didn't even do Twitter for the longest, But on the marketing side, I 100% understand now. And then in terms of being true to your fans, I 100% understand now. I think it's a beautiful thing because, our music is touching digital, and like I said, we're analog. We've been used to the quarterly things and such, but this digital thing, I could walk out of the studio right now and just upload something that's in the universe. Now, where I see it making some sense, like I've worked with some artists that will show me, hey, I got 4 million followers. I'm like, but they're not breaking you off no dough. I mean, what part of the game is this? It's not about the dough, but you're just throwing your music out there. I mean, you're not going to be able to come back and suck it back after it's out there in the universe now. So, but the beautiful thing about it is that if you're a real artist, you do what artists do. You go out there and you perform, and you go touch spirits and souls. That's what real artists do. They motivate and they inspire people, not just sit back and see how many people like what I did in the studio. So that's what I say. You got to do both. You can't just do that part. And that's what I learned.
Right. Yeah. And what you said, and I've heard 3 or 4 times in this conversation, Dwayne, you've mentioned Oakland, and I noticed even on your post on Instagram, you always hashtag Oakland. Do you think it's because you do appreciate where you came from that as you go further, it makes it even sweeter for you?
I do. I really do appreciate where I came from because when I've traveled and I've seen some of the hardships. I recently came from Joburg, South Africa, and Cape Town and all that. When I come back home, it makes me thankful, but it even made me more thankful that I am from Africa. I was like looking at that, I'm like, whoa, I'm over here, with folks that are just, don't have much but are very wealthy with life and just in general. So coming back to Oakland, I'm looking like that's the reason why we felt like that. I mean, growing up in Oakland, it was 8 of us in a 2-bedroom pad, and all I had was a red wagon growing up, and you couldn't have told me we weren't rich because I could put everything down the street in my wagon and pull it. So it's the simple things in life that kind of make you, that kind of feed the spirit and the soul. And that's what I appreciate about it. Yeah, I truly do, man. This ain't no Hollywood give you interview thing. I don't even try and look back. I was like, wow, I just really came out of a situation where I almost got thrown out of high school. But if it wasn't for a teacher looking at me and taking control and saying, hey, let me see you play that instrument, which I learned on the street, that changed my life. It showed me that, hey, this guitar right here, that's your God. That's your Savior right now. That's your shield to walk through it all, bro.
Wow. Well, we know we definitely appreciate it, and we're looking forward to being able to see you and the rest of the guys again on Saturday, September the 2nd. That's going to be at Fox Theater, everyone, for the Battle of the Bands against Toni. Toni will be joined by Drew Hill, Casey and JoJo next. This is something you don't want to miss. If you have not gotten your tickets already, make sure you guys head over to www.foxtheater.org to be able to get it for yourself. It's going to be a great time as part of the Saturday Soul series, for sure, really proving that good music does still live. And make sure you are staying connected with Toni. They have the website at www.tonytonymusic.com. When you go there, actually, the song that you all will actually hear is the song we've talked about here. It's a beautiful thing. You all will hear it right there on their website. So make sure you guys do head over to your favorite online retailer and get that and other great music for yourself. Dwayne is also all over social media. You can follow him on Twitter at Dwayne Wiggins. He's also on Instagram. I know I'm following him there as well. Make sure you guys follow him as Dwayne Wiggins Official there. And he also has a link to the group's website, TonyTonyMusic.com, and his signature as well. Dwayne, I know it's a busy time for you. Thank you so much for the time, and looking forward to being able to have you back on the program again, man.
Man, I look forward as well, good brother. So you get a chance, you need to come out and celebrate with us, because it is a beautiful thing to have life right now, I tell you. All right, brother.
That's right. That's right.
I want to say, Atlanta, I love y'all. Been hitting it there since 1987. What a blessing. Can't wait.
All right, and we can't wait as well, Dwayne. Again, thank you so much again, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. I want to thank our good friend Lisa G, of course, of Connecting You to PR for setting up this conversation with us for sure. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live as well. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.